Now let's take a look at the second example that I wanted to do, which is the IMDb search. And I'll just save this here. So this is going to allow us to search for a movie. Presumably here we would want to use a dictation payload, or possibly we would use payload XML with all of the movies that we already have. And this allows us to do a web search, but we're doing a Google Lucky Search in order to get an IMDb page for the movie. The reason we're not going to IMDb directly is that when you use their search tool, it gives you a list of movies from which the user is expected to then choose the one they actually want. But we just want to go directly to the most likely match for a given movie title, and Google Lucky Search lets us do that by including just IMDb in the search along with the title of the movie that we want to use. So if I go back to Chrome here, you'll see if I go to IMDb and I do a search for Iron Man, we get this page, and the most likely hit is actually the one that we want, but it gets more complicated then, because we would have to scrape what's coming back and then follow the link from there. And while we could do that, it's easier to do a Google search. If we just do a IMDb Iron Man Google search, you'll see that the first hit is the page that we want. And because we're telling it that we want to do a lucky search, this is the magic part here actually, is the button lucky equals 1. And you'll see if we punch this address into a Google search, it automatically directs us to the correct IMDb page. So that's what we're going to do, and of course you can change that to whatever you want. So in our command we would just change this part to be able to search for different things. All right, so let's go to the RegEx part. So we're going to open up our RegEx tool again, and we're going to say yes, pass in whatever you find to the tool so that we can play with it, and click execute. Okay, so this is we've got a lot more information here, and we need to weed through this now and try to find what's useful information to us. One thing that may or may not find helpful is you'll notice also that this is a very wide page. We do have the option to enable and disable word wrap. So just remember that if you have word wrap enabled, keep it in mind when you're looking at matching patterns, because this may actually all be on one line, which can be good or bad depending on what you're trying to do, but just keep it in mind. So I generally will keep word wrap off unless I really find that the width of the page is bothering me for some reason. So one thing that we could probably do here for starters is we know that the word Iron Man should be on here somewhere. So let's just do a basic search here. It's Iron Man, one word. Yeah, it's not working. Is it because it's 2 words? Apparently it's 2 words. Right at the beginning we have here some information. So this would be the simplest thing for us to search for would be verify the actual title that we're getting back. And it may appear more than once. Okay, so what other information is there? There's probably something to do with a rating, right? Maybe you want to know how popular this movie is. So this is telling us content rating. If we need to know whether it's suitable for your kids, you could use this content rating. This is interesting here. They have this item prop. And I think this appears a lot. Item property. Let's see what it gives us. Duration, genre, Okay, this is giving us multiple genres, actors, all sorts of stuff. For starters, let's do a quick search for everything that matches this item prop equals something and see what we get. I'm going to capture this and do a search. So look at all this good stuff we've already got here. Director. Maybe not working out exactly the way we'd hoped. Here we go. So here's the rating. You have to poke around, and every website is going to be different. At least IMDb should be always consistent for no matter which movie you're searching for. So let's say we wanted to grab the rating. I'm gonna say. Now I remind you, this is what we're interested in here. But again, if I do this search, it's not gonna work. And that's because of this space. So you either need to put in a period here, which marks any character, or you can specifically say I want a space, \s for any white space character. And now, see how easy it is to create the pattern once you know what you're looking for. Sometimes the hard part is actually finding what you're looking for in the HTML. Another thing that you can do sometimes is to actually go to the page, and you'll see that this is the information that we actually want here. And go to inspect element, and this is in Chrome anyway, and you can see it gives you an idea of what it's going to look like in the HTML. So actually then you could use the find tool to find it actually in the HTML. The only problem with this technique is that you must remember that sometimes after a web page loads, there will be some JavaScript or other things running that are going to change the actual content of the page. When we use the scrape action, it only gets the first draft of the web page before any of those things have run. So in some cases, the information you're looking for after the page is fully loaded and all the scripts have run, you'll be able to find the information you want, but the initial scrape actually won't contain that information at all. And in situations like that, you need to do more than just scrape the page. So in any case, here's our rating value. This is working. It's giving back the number that we want. So I'll just finish this off and show you how to turn this into a command. We'll copy this pattern. So we'll want to do a RegEx tool. Sorry, results.regex with this pattern. And I'll disable this for now. We'll do a fresh scrape. Okay, you can see that we're getting one match. And then we can do, maybe we want to do text to speech. So assuming we're creating a real command, we would be passing in here payload with the name of the movie that we want to search for. So payload 1 is going to be Iron Man, and after it scrapes the web page and applies the pattern search, it should give us back the rating for that movie as match 1. So I'll test it with Iron Man for starters.
The rating for Iron Man is 7.9.
And I don't have my stereo on, so I don't know if that worked. I'll add on-screen display as well. And I'll just copy this same thing down to show the text. Okay, and we'll test this again.
The rating for Iron Man is 7.9.
So we can try another movie. Star Wars.
The rating for Star Wars is 8.7.
Spaceballs.
The rating for Spaceballs is 7.1.
So you can see that this is working, and if we go to, we'll see that it is indeed a rating of 7.1 for Spaceballs. Okay, let's try in our tool again.
The rating for Spaceballs is 7.1.
Let's try now to see with this same pattern if we can get other information by, instead of rating value. Not much here actually with that pattern. We're just getting popularity rating, highest rating. Well, number of ratings is kind of interesting. Go back to, so this rating of 7.1 is based on 109,000 votes, which is, sometimes when you're looking at the rating, it's important to know how many people actually rated something. So now we could modify our command. We don't actually need to capture this information. We just need to match against it. So we're going to want match 2, which is the rating, and match 4, which is the number of votes. The rating for payload 1, which is the name of the movie, is match 2. It's the rating based on match 4 number of votes. I'll test this command.
The rating for Spaceballs is match.2 based on match.4 votes.
Okay, I forgot to copy our new pattern into the editor here.
The rating for Spaceballs is 7.1 based on 109,381 votes.
Okay, so I think that's enough brain food for today. Digest it, and perhaps I'll come up with another good example or challenge. And next time maybe we'll do something that requires us to use RegEx single. I hope that you learned something today, and I hope that you find cool new ways to use this feature in VoxCommando. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and keep an eye out for more tutorials.